Good morning once again, and welcome to day 4 of the Advantage Map. And it's been an amazing journey working with you through this. Yeah, today we're going to be considering a concept so interesting and so evolving that it's about your brain on scarcity. And it talks about how it feels sometimes that our brain is working against us. Yeah, and it's something that most people honestly don't talk about, but they experience on a daily basis. I know we know about what survival mode is about, and sometimes people have spent so long trying to survive that their minds begin to operate differently. And if you do not understand that, you may spend years blaming yourself without realizing what pressure has been doing to you internally. Now, think about this carefully. Imagine waking up every day already worried about bills, worried about school fees, worried about family, worried about expectations, worried about your transport, the busy system that you're working with, worried about food, worried about whether life will improve at all. After some time, the human mind adapts to pressure, and this is not because the person is weak, but it's because human being responds to environment like that. And when life feels unsafe for too long, the brain slowly becomes more focused on immediate survival than long-term memory strategy, and this can be dangerous. This can be a trap. That is the importance that we need to understand this concept, because many people today are not only tired physically, they are tired mentally, they are exhausted practically. Some people have not rested emotionally in years, like in years. Even when they are sitting quietly, their minds are still fighting survival battles, still calculating, still worrying, still reacting to situations, still trying to prevent the next problem from arriving, which sometimes can even be inevitable. Yeah, and that kind of pressure changes people. Now let me explain this simply. The brain has systems connected to fear, to stress, to planning, to emotional reactions, and then to decision making. And so when stress becomes the constant, people often become more reactive than responding to the other forms that we just mentioned. They think short term more often. They focus on urgent problems. They avoid risks more easily. They choose quick relief instead of long-term strategy. And over time, this creates a circle. And that is why somebody can be hardworking but still feel stuck and have no plans for tomorrow and just live one day at a time. Not because they are useless, not because they are unintelligent, but because survival pressure narrows their attention. And for example, when somebody is constantly worried about money, they may struggle to think long term, not because they lack dreams, but because the brain is trying to solve immediate dangers first. And when somebody is emotionally overwhelmed, they may make rash decisions simply to reduce pressure quickly. And when people live under constant stress, they often choose what feels safe immediately, even when it hurts them later. This happens in relationship too. Some persons stay in unhealthy environments because uncertainty feels more frightening than the familiar pain. Yeah, and some people keep saying yes to everyone because they are afraid of losing support. Some people remain trapped in circles because survival pressure makes every decision feels urgent. And urgency is powerful, but urgency is not always important. That sentence matters deeply. Urgency is not always important. Some things only feel urgent because fear is loudest. Fear says, take anything now. Don't miss this. Just survive today. Forget the future. Reduce the pressure immediately. I mean, we hear it all around. We see it on the social media, and it's become something of a pressure even to us right now. And if people are not careful, they slowly build entire lives band are built on panic instead of direction, and that is dangerous because survival mode can make people confuse movements with progress. You stay busy, you stay stressed, you stay occupied, but deep down nothing stable is actually being built. Years begin to pass that way, and one day people stop and ask, how have I been struggling this long without moving forward properly? That question hurts many people. Now this is important. Understanding this should not become an excuse, it should become awareness. because awareness creates interruption, and interruption creates change. Many people think they need more motivation, but sometimes people do not need motivation first. Sometimes they need clarity, sometimes they need rest, sometimes they need reflection. They need space to think without panic, controlling every decision. That is why constantly rushing through life is dangerous. Some people are making life-changing decisions while emotionally exhausted. Some are choosing careers from fear. Some are choosing relationships from loneliness. Some are choosing survival over purpose repeatedly. And eventually survival becomes identity. And that is one of the greatest danger of chronic scarcity. People stop imagining better possibilities. They stop planning properly. They stop believing they can build. They become trapped, reacting to life instead of designing it. But human beings were not created only to survive endlessly. People also need vision. They need peace. They need stability. They need ownership. They need growth. Yeah? Meaning and direction. These things are important because a person can survive for years and still never leave. Now, let me say something else very carefully. Not every opportunity deserves our panic. Not every urgent request deserves our energy. Not every fast decision is wise. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is pause and breathe. Yeah? Pause and ask, am I reacting from fear or responding to clarity? Pause and ask, is this helping me build something meaningful or just helping me escape pressure temporarily? And this is something that many people do at the moment, yeah, because many lives are changed not only by intelligence but by the ability to slow down and think strategically. And strategically requires emotional space. This is why rest matters. This is why boundaries matters. This is why peace matters. And that is why clarity matters. So because exhausted people often struggle to think beyond immediate survival. Now, tonight or today, I want you to reflect honestly. Write down one decision you made recently because of fear, pressure, panic, or insecurity, or urgency. Think about that as well. And then ask yourself, what would I have chosen if I truly believed my future could become better? That question is powerful because many people are not only fighting external problems, they are also fighting survival patterns, and that have shaped how they think for years. And changing your life sometimes begins with recognizing those patterns first. This is day 4 of the 30-day Advantage Map journey. And today we learned something important. Not every thought deserves control over your future. Not every feeling of urgency deserves your obedience. Thanks for the journey with me.